about a key to dialoguing with this power that we are. That every human being and every living thing is a coalescence of vibrating energy. Can we accept that? That this whole world, the world itself, is a coalescence of energy that's connected to everything there are. We always talk about we are one, I'm you, you are me, we are one. Yeah, that's great, but what does that mean? It means that this universe coming through from the scientists, not from the religious people, but the scientists saying, you know, this whole world is a coalescence of vibratory energy. That opens up a new world, a new thinking of how I can relate to it. And then when I look at energy, and I thought about that this weekend, my gosh, energy that's vibrating, that's connected to all there is. That's how we communicate. It's as simple as that. It doesn't take a rocket science to know that this vibratory energy relates to and presents into us what we put out into it. It presents energy back to us of the same kind. Does that make any sense? And if that's true, then my gosh, there's my communication from the awareness of who we are. And this tremendous loving energy, when we look at spiritual energy, what's kind of cool about that is spiritual energy, what we call a spiritual energy, will manifest the exact situation that we put out there into the universe, will manifest in physical form the situation that we energize out there. I'll give you an example of that. You know? And I used it this morning, and here you are. If I put in mind something positive, in this case I put in mind that I would have a full house, and it's close. I put that in mind, but I also felt it with energy. I felt and I knew that Ralph would show up during my talk. I knew that for sure. He was at the gym. And here he is. He came. I put that in mind. Anything positive we put in that mind, this energy, this light energy, that's how we communicate to receiving situations in our life that are life-affirming, that are positive. This does not take rocket science to understand how we do this. Why complicate it? We don't have to complicate it. All we need to know is that, hey, we all use this energy. I use it every day, and so do you. This energy we use in mind. This energy, when we think a thought, that thought is transmitted by this energy. We don't have to be a scientist to understand that, but when I think a thought, it's transmitted someplace by this energy. This energy is absolutely necessary. It's not beneficial. It's absolutely necessary for every cell. Every cell in our bodies, every cell in the plant life, everywhere. It's absolutely necessary, and it's there for us to use. And so as we look at this idea of how do I, when I'm in this world of form, and I've got people in my face and things are going wrong, and I'm destroyed, and I feel destroyed, and I don't know what to do, what my next step is. What is the next step? Rather than going to fear and doubt, we go and we communicate through energy, through our thoughts, through our emotions. We go there, and I like the love energy. We go, because in this room, we leave the stuff outside, and what rules this room is the love energy. And then the third one, I think I'm getting close, aren't I? Am I getting close? I had to do all this in 15 minutes. The third one is my most special one, and Bob and I talked about this, and I told him I wouldn't think he'd steal his thunder because he's going to deal with this next week. It's kind of cool. But anyway, and Jenny spoke about it today, that when we are looking at this idea of spiritual energy, there's something phenomenal that happens. It transcends all the physical drama. It transcends the limitation, and we don't even understand it. But it's there. We see it all the time when people do superhuman stuff. Picking up cars to save a life. Running into a fire and carrying somebody out that's twice your size. This spiritual energy is so magnificent, and it's ours. Call it grace. I don't know what we want to call it. We don't know what it is exactly, except that it's pretty powerful. And just a case in point, we'll close with it, is a gal named Cheryl Smith. Well, Cheryl was a student a nursing student. And she was well known at school that she had a queasy stomach. That's what I did too. That you know, she couldn't be around blood because she wanted to faint if something bad was happening or something terrible was happening. She'd almost faint. She'd want to vomit. Oh God! But she was becoming a nurse. Anyway, she's on her way to school, and lo and behold, because what you put out there, we manifest, don't we? You know, she's fearful. She's on her way to school, and she saw a terrible accident. It was so terrible that this truck lost control, banged into the bank, broke apart, started catching fire, and she stopped and she screamed, "Help! Help this guy!" And nobody responded. People were frozen in their tracks. And one lady did run, yell and say, "It's going to explode!" Oh my gosh. What did she do? She had to transcend fear and doubt and her queasiness. And she did that. She was able to transcend it, and she put in mind, she let go of that. And she put in mind, I need to save this guy. I need to save this guy. It was energetic. It was energetic. Not much words. Energetic. I need to save this guy. And so she talked about it later. She said it was as if a bubble surrounded her that protected her while she did what she did. She runs up to the car, to the truck, and here's this guy. He's a huge guy, big guy, even bigger than Steve. I'm sorry. But anyway, the guy was slumped over the wheel, and blood was gushing over his face. She runs up there. She catches him. She pulls over this damaged door, picks up this guy who weighs probably twice her size, pulls him out of the vehicle, and pulls him out to safety. Ha! What happened there? We are so magnificent. We need to learn to sunshine that magnificence, and we can only do it in closing. We can only do it in three various ways. We need to first identify with it. Not allow this phony, this false impression that we're under the domain of the stuff out there. We're not. We got to remember that we do not get our happiness from the accumulation of stuff. That's not who we are. So we need to identify with it, as Jesus said. If we don't identify with ourselves, then we live in poverty. We don't want to live in that. And then the second thing is we need to learn to, how do we communicate with it? And through quantum physics, we communicate through our thoughts, through our emotions. It's not even words. It's no putting in mind exactly what it is we want to do. And the third thing, and we'll close with the third thing, is that it's magnificent. We are so blessed to have this wonderful spirituality, to know that we're one with it, and that this spirituality transcends all of the physical dynamics. And say with me, loud and clear. And so it is. We're done.